Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.
Self, while we're here.
Well, I mean, for me, it's always important for me to understand, how the game is looked on from the outside. So I listened to a podcast the other day. I think it was, I think it's a podcast by Chooks, and then I think it's called Juice. Is it Orange Juice or Juice 2 or something? Have you seen that podcast?
I think so. I think I've not seen it, but I think I've heard of it.
The guy's plays, it's for, his name will come to me in a minute, played for Westminster.
Tosin.
Tosin, yes,
and Justin Hitchman. Yeah.
So I love listening to that because, they're talking more around young British guys playing, talking about how it looks like from the semi-professional angle, shall I say, from Division 1, that kind of thing. That was a real insight for me because it's a long time since I played at that level. So I think I'm always interested to understand from people what happens, how they see the sport from where they are. Because, I can only see it from where I am, obviously. And I'm always trying to take account of different angles of the game. So how they see it from their side is important because it's all of us games, all our games,
Okay. Do you have any questions for me, by the way?
Yeah, I mean, that's a question for you. That's the question to see how you see the game. From
how do I see the game? What, the league or the game or
in Britain, because not so much the league, but how do you feel the game that you look at it?
The way I look at it, I just feel like sometimes we're not respected enough. Like, I feel like there's so much talent there, and there's so much people, there's so much places for people to play. Pro Classic has a lot of talent, and a lot of people don't go to see it. There's been other events as well with a lot of players that are coming up. And I spoke to some kids. I had some kids on my talks last week, under 18s. They play under 18s, and I asked them about British basketball. And they said they don't watch it because they don't know enough about it. They don't know what's going on. They don't see enough to want to engage and take time to watch British basketball. So I think it's one of those ones. It's not respected enough. It's not seen enough. And I do believe we have the talent here. We have a lot of great players here. So it's just about.
That makes me think two things. It makes me think, in terms of if they don't see it. I mean, in this day and age of the phone and we can get stuff on. I don't understand why we're not getting that out to the guys for them to see it.
Yeah.
So that's ask ourselves that why aren't we making those kind of highlights? Talking to someone like Sam at Hoops Fix, he's always been banging on about why haven't we got half an hour highlights going out within half an hour of the games and consistent.
Just bang out.
That's one of the things we want to try and address from where we are is that, is the content coming out all the time? Sometimes we're a little concerned that does it look right? Well, actually, maybe it doesn't need to look right. It just needs to be out there.
Just get out there. And then you can develop as you go along. Like even if it's not as good as when you send it out, as long as you send that out, the next time you can improve on it and then do it even better. As long as it's out, sometimes I think
the quantity we have to address. But then, in terms of the respect of the game, sometimes I sometimes think, okay, then if the game was successful, what would it look like? Because then maybe at some point you can deal with that situation. It's like, okay. Because we say, the game's not successful or we don't do it, all right, then just cross all of that out. If it was successful, what would it look like? That's what I'd ask you. Successful. I mean, I know the first answer a lot of people say is, get it on television. But I don't watch television. Do you watch television?
I think being successful, I think making it more accessible. Some, like you said, some don't watch it on television. There's a lot of people that like using YouTube. Like, it's BBL's on the YouTube. Let's advertise it more that's on YouTube or something. You know what I mean? Get more.
It is. The coverage needs to be better, even if it's not on television. But if it still needs to be shot in that way, because I don't watch the NBA on television. I can watch it on my phone. I don't watch it on television, but I still know what's going on. So maybe that's where we focus on the quality of what we're producing, but not necessarily on television, but accessible to everybody.
Yeah. And even on the internet, sometimes having the scores up on the internet on some websites, other than just the BBL, some other websites like Google maybe, or something in your notifications or email notifications, anything just to get it out there. Like,
so that's things that collectively we need to address. I'll be talking to my people that that's something we need to address. I think one of the questions that came through just now said, is the BBL better now than 10 years ago with the Sky deals and stuff like that? And the thing is,
it depends how you look at it, innit?
It looked better, but it wasn't actually better because the clubs were all losing money. They were all spending more money that they didn't have because the money wasn't coming in. It was a rich benefactor. But even so, when it was on Sky, it looked the part on Sky, but the numbers were terrible. You know, even the NBA numbers, if you look at the NBA numbers on BT, they're terrible. It's less than 4,000 or 5,000 people, you know.
Yeah.
So it looks the part, but it's not getting, you know, it doesn't need to be on a pay-per-view. It needs to be, if it's there, it needs to be free, you know. So as far as it being better, I don't know if it's better. I think from my perspective, I feel that our operation and what we're doing is better than we were doing 10 years ago. I feel that there are more British players playing now than there was 10 years ago.
There is more British players.
There's a clearer pathway for players. If I'm a young 17-year-old kid in Hackney or a young 17-year-old kid in Birmingham, I know there's a pathway I can follow if I want to be a pro. You know, there are clubs that will give me academy deals, they will give me college deals, university deals. So the pathway is better now. So I guess it's horses for courses, but we should be careful. And I say this as an older person, we should be careful that we don't keep looking back and saying that things were better in the old days just because, you know, is Michael Jordan better than LeBron?
Do some more research on it. I get that. Fair enough. I get that. No, but I think, it can, like I said, there is some things that can improve on it. Like, again, more interaction with players. And I think, again, having more access in other avenues with scores and that, highest player of the game. I think marketing players and matchups is so much, it will be so key as well. Like Justin versus a Fletcher matchup, that would be so great to market that. And it will bring more interest.
Yeah, I think we need to do more of that. You're right. I mean, I know, when we were preparing our programs and stuff, I think it's always important to recognize the players that are coming in, we're playing against the London Royals and, NBA is coming in, we need to make a big deal about the fact that that's the situation. If Fletcher's coming in, yes, GB International, Kofi Josephs is coming in. We need to make a big deal about it so that we're playing in a vacuum. We're playing against really good guys. If we win, we've beaten some really good guys. If we lose, we've lost to some really good guys. Those are the kind of things we should do more of in terms of bigging up the opposition,
Making them feel special. That's what I say. Make everyone feel special. The players, coaches, the fans. That's it.
Definitely. I should hear that. All teams should be named after and aligned to football clubs. I don't necessarily agree with that, by the way, because what do we do? Do we align to Tottenham? Do we align to Arsenal? What do we do? Chelsea?
I reckon we do our own thing. What we're doing all right now is developing, so Yeah. So it's developing and that. So yeah, I think we're doing all right. Just getting our own. I think the next big step for teams now to start doing what Newcastle and Leicester did and get their own stadiums eventually. So that's the next step.
Because don't forget, you will make as much money on concessions as you will do on tickets if the venue is yours. So that.
All right. It's the live's logging us out in 20 seconds. So Vince, it's been a great one, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thoroughly enjoyed that. Really good. We should do it again soon. And
definitely.
Hopefully, people out there will keep an eye on the London Lions.
All right, man. We'll stay in touch. Definitely. Everyone, peace out.
Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris. Everything Chris.